I'm surprised Sojiro doesn't question why I clean the floor so often. Hey everyone, welcome back to more Persona 5 Royal. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we took down Kaneshiro, and this time, well... actually... Really? Huh. I think if you answered that right, you would have gotten an extra point of knowledge. Sometimes the TV will do that. But yeah, last time we beat Kaneshiro. This time, we're just continuing on our way, working down our... The reason that my voice seems to be going more distant is because I'm actually just grabbing my phone so I can get my guides up for my confidants. And yes, I do mean guides for the confidants. I have notes for...
That Kaneshiro truly was an evil stain on society. Same with Kamoshida and Madarame too. They hurt and exploited others just to satisfy their desires. Still, there were people around them who noticed their terrible deeds, weren't there? I wonder why they turned a blind eye. Why doesn't anyone help? So it's because they don't have the courage. Humans are so weak. Humans. Hey, do you think I'll really be able to become a human? When I touched the treasure, some memories came back. I tried to force myself to forget, but I really may not be human. Who do you think you're talking to? Now that I think about it, I gotta be human. I am the core of the Phantom Thieves, after all.
To start off our palace, we got a rank, and to end the palace, we get another one where we get Pickpocket.
Come on, it's not good for you to stay up this late. Let's go to sleep.
Yeah, as I was trying to say, I have guides for the confidants, notes for the personas. So.
Our master wishes to speak with you. Heed his words.
You've defeated the repulsive fiend of gluttony this time. Well done. I am glad to see you have devoted yourself to your rehabilitation.
You are not worthy of such kind words, inmate. I suggest you treasure them.
Do you recall the whispers about that strange man?
Even a chicken could remember something that important. Don't sound so cocky about it.
This is about the cases of those people who shut down, is it not?
Indeed. I speak of another with powers similar to yours. If you are to complete your rehabilitation, you may encounter him eventually. Yet another thing for me to look forward to. It would be greatly troubling if you were to not strengthen your abilities. I shall grant you an ability befitting of your newfound growth. Consider it a gift.
And we're just getting all of our story ones as we get High Arcana Burst.
Alright.
So, our confidant ranks give us even more experience.
It's time, inmate.
Return to your world.
Hello? It's me, Makoto. Were you sleeping? I assume it's okay if you're able to make such jokes. There's something I feel I should let you know. Kaneshiro contacted me.
Kaneshiro?
He said he's calling off our debt. It seems he's disposed of all the photographs as well. And, my sister and her team have taken him into custody.
What?
It appears they did not want him to disappear, if you know what I mean.
His group was called a mafia after all. I wouldn't put silencing him past them.
Does this mean we were successful in changing his heart?
It's hard to say for sure yet.
I see. What about those psychotic breakdowns that Kaneshiro mentioned?
I'm not sure, but I assume he was talking about the incidents that have been all over the news lately. It really may be related to the other person who has been entering palaces.
True. That said, all we can do now is wait until Kaneshiro's change of heart becomes clear to us. Thank you.
Morning.
What up?
Hey.
Hey, about Kaneshiro's treasure. Isn't it kind of disappointing? I thought the bank would have had bathtubs full of cash or gold bars, but a briefcase? I just wish there's someplace I could find a bunch of cash. Why don't you just get a job, Ryuji? Job, huh? Do you have one? I mean, it's the usual way to make money. But that ain't what dreams are made of. It's too ordinary. Yeah, but sometimes ordinary is fine. I think you may know this already, but I've been ordered by Principal Kobayakawa to look for the culprits. We seem to be fine for now, but we can't let our guard down. And I said you try not to stand out for a while. By the way, I usually spend my time in the student council room. If there's ever an emergency, feel free to come find me there. And I believe that is actually our prompt that... I actually do want to check, because it might not be our prompt to get Makoto's confidant started. And for sure, we don't actually have the correct persona. So let's head over to the Velvet Room.
Hey, inmate!
Because what we'll want to do is grab a priestess. I always get this one and I always get priestess and empress mixed up, but Makoto is priestess. And it doesn't appear as though we have anything here that will help us out. What we can do is get a new persona, that being Anzu. I don't know if these count as the, so, Masuka Kaja.
It will receive my.
Let me just grab my notes on Anzu. Anzu is pretty much not pretty much, it is our first example of Mesopotamian myths. Well, we've had some that were, Judaism in that area, but this is the first one that's specifically Mesopotamian. This is the first time I am using myths from Mesopotamia, Creation, the Flood, Gilgamesh, and others, with a translation from Stephanie Daly. It's just a book. It actually shows the entire things. A little bit of synopsis beforehand, but not really too much. Anzu is one. There's two versions of the story of Anzu in the Babylon area. First one is, so one of them has Anzu as a benevolent lion-headed eagle, but this story is very incomplete even for its standards because there's a lot of really incomplete, like even the complete texts that we have, it's an Oxford book, by the way, because I just see it sitting up in front of me, but it's very incomplete, so we don't really know what that part of the, or what that version of the story is about. Make a purchase.
Okay.
And just sell our things real quick. Nice 34 grand.
Come again.
And then, so the other one, which is the more important one, is it's based around the Tablet of Destinies, which basically gives whoever has it godlike powers. Also, I didn't even pick up a priestess. Whoops.
Hey,
Gives whoever, godlike powers. Anzu is not necessarily he ends up becoming a god. He ends up stealing the Tablet of Destinies. He's very associated with wind, Born Mountain, he's, again, just kind of in his introduction spiel. It's the whole thing about wind with Anzu. And we'll pick up Apsaris.
He is required and accept this persona.
And so, eventually, Anzu did end up being defeated by two people who were ended up being incorporated into the mythos that would become Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was an actual person, but there were some stories that kind of got combined. A little bit more of a... Gilgamesh had this whole epic around him, and again, there was Gilgamesh. There were other things that were attributed to Gilgamesh, people that were assigned into this. And people who slew Anzu ended up being some of them that would do that. Let's go Not So Hot Betsy. And I want to see if we can get Speed Reader. Which could be in the library here.
What would you like?
So return a book.
Thank you. What would you like?
Borrow a book. Still don't have Speed Reader. Really? I guess we'll grab Illusory Popus. And yeah, I guess we don't really have that much. We'll see if Makoto is available to have her confidant started, because I'm not certain.
Hey.
Okay, see you. Okay, so in order to start Makoto's, you do need level 3 knowledge. This is one of the most demanding ones. Social-wise, by the end we will need max charm, and we need to start off with 3 knowledge.
I'd like to talk to you about something. Do you have a moment? Up until now, I've been the quintessential honor student. I believe I've been handling my position as student council president with ease as well. And I don't mean that in a boasting way, that's simply how I've thought about it. But in the end, I was unable to make any kind of impact with either Suzui-san or Kaneshiro. Turns out there's no use for a rule-abiding honor student when things get rough. Now that I'm a member of this team, I want to do everything I can to help you all. All my studying up to this point has kept me quite narrow-minded. I think I will need to broaden my horizons somewhat. My first step will be to learn more about the other students, but I struggle with that. There seems to be a disparity between my tastes and those of my peers. Really? I hope you're right. But I don't even know where people like to go for fun. It would be nice to have a grasp of such concepts. Plus, the student council must be responsible for understanding the student body they serve, right? I don't mean that in a surveillance way. I just want to know them as people. I may be a phantom thief, but that's no excuse for me to start ignoring my presidential duties. Now, back to the topic at hand. Where do people usually go for fun? Karaoke, My friends have taken me there a few times. If possible, I'd like to go somewhere I'm a little less familiar with. How about an arcade? I've never actually been to one. Do you think you could take me? I'm not sure if it'll broaden my horizons per se, but simply studying won't get me anywhere. Thank goodness. I think I would have been totally lost in there had I gone by myself. Well, let's get going. So, this is where everyone comes to enjoy themselves. There are more girls here than I expected. Hey, over there! You play by aiming the gun at the screen, right? That actually seems somewhat realistic. If it's okay with you, do you think you could teach me? I did it! No
Wait! Ah!
Oh, so this is how it is. Of course, that was just a game, but I wonder if I could apply some of the techniques I learned here during battle. Perhaps going somewhere I don't normally frequent is what helped me come up with that idea. You know, it may only be a little bit, but I think I'm starting to understand how people pass time. Interesting. I would have never even thought about coming here before. Hey, do you think you could help me out again later? I might be able to give the team more ideas if I can gain increased knowledge outside of my studies. I need to live up to your expectations now that I've taken up your time. Perhaps it won't be immediately, but I'm sure I can be of use.
There must have been people who obstructed your actions as the Phantom Thieves. You managed to overcome them because you had someone who specialized in analyzing enemies. Isn't that right?
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou hast acquired a new vow. It shall become the wings of rebellion that breaketh thy chains of captivity. With the birth of the priestess persona, I have obtained the winds of blessing that shall lead to freedom and new power.
The priestess is a little bit of a weird one. Obviously, it will give you the same sort of party-wide buffs as everyone else does. And that's just how it works. But in addition, Makoto allows you to see what an enemy could drop on the analysis screen. It's alright.
Alright.
You can see what an enemy drops, you can see what skills they have. You can kind of use that to extrapolate what they might be weak to. It's an alright ability. You kind of forget about it, honestly.
By the way, you went to the red light district when you were chasing after Kaneshiro, right? I'd like to go there as well. No, not for my own purposes. To tell you the truth, I recently got a report that one of our students was spotted there. I'm skeptical, but I'd like to confirm firsthand for myself. Well, it's getting late. Let's go home. Thank you.
Thanks for setting aside some time for me today. It's always hard for me to come to places like this on my own, so you've been a big help. I've had all kinds of new experiences today, and it's even been a little fun. Red Light District next? Yeah, thanks. I feel a lot better with you helping me through this. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to keep you. Careful on your way home. I'll call you later.
All right, then.
Oh, we're getting another girlfriend, huh?
You're back.
Hey, inmate!
Got another special assignment from twins that I'm not really going to take care of. What article? So, Boy M tells all rampant abuse in the Kaneshiro case. It could be Makoto. You never know.
That article. Do you think the reporter we met at Crossroads could have written it? Just as I thought. The author is listed as Ichigo Oya. I see. This article might end up being useful for us. If the palace ruler sees it and his cognition of the Phantom Thieves changes... Hey, we'd be missing out if we didn't use this to our advantage. We have her paint us in a positive light. public opinion of us will change for the better. You should go try and get her to write some more articles about the Phantom Thieves.
I can feel it.
And that definitely seems like a pretty good idea. We also have the housekeeping services, though.
Hey, hey!
And, well, the thing is, there's actually quite a bit we can do. So we're heading to the red light district, but we're not going to be investigating this until next time. So, until then, see you guys later.